Why must a real estate agent get to plateau after 2 years practicing in real estate?
So basically, most agents are doing 3 to 6 deals a year. I'm wondering why growth stalled. This is why we made this video for you. So let's talk about the all too common reasons why people plateau. But first, let's talk about who we are. We're Alan Victoria. We are icon agents.
Double icon agents.
Double icon agents.
With the extra realty.
We missed it just by $800 a couple years ago, and that was frustrating but exciting because it pushed us to go next. We did found the Prosperity Agent. Why did we do this? Because we wanted to help real estate agents build, thrive, understand their financial pressures, and building so we can build a sustainable business without burning out. So we have to kind of look at these patterns of why people plateau so we can make plans accordingly for our business. Now, new agents, especially good ones, are going to start out and they're going to hustle hard. But by year 2, their momentum is waning, growth is stalling, and they get stuck. They're just not enough. And so this plateau is very predictable and also something we have to kind of plan for so it's not a personal failing. So this is one of the reasons why we started the Prosperity Agents. We know that agents are hitting the wall. We know that there are strategies in place and systems that you can do to break through. So you want to go and just for ourselves, what we talk about, our market that we sell real estate in is a market that is not necessarily where either one of us is from. We moved here. We were brand new to the area when we started our business. So you can be outsiders. You don't have to know your town that you're living in. But we moved it. We became double icons. And now we're teaching classes and we're really kind of talking about these systems in order to thrive your business.
Exactly. Therefore, one, we wanted to focus on what the early grind trap is and why hustle alone works until it doesn't. And that's why we're here. And we wanted to talk about what happens. Usually the early success often based on the long hours, relentless networking, whenever it takes mentally, that's what you're gonna do most of it. And the hustle, the agent, as my wife said, is really between 3 to 6 deals per year, but is not sustainable if you continue that. And the problem is the habit to create initial success led to hold you back. Therefore, what is the scenario that we're going to do based on the data that is released? 80% of agents burn out in the first 2 years, and the hustle comes from the addition, not multiplications or limited hours. This is all the limitation that the agent had. Now, the grind cause of it, there are different things. The first thing is the constant lead generation pressure, because you need to always generate the leads. And then the transaction treadmills, meaning that you need to run harder just to stay in the place. And the third thing is exhaustion and lack of the strategic system building that can multiply you by the time.
Now, basically, the answer to that is we need to hustle smarter, right? So we have to be smarter. Now, the biggest reason why people fail is lack of systems. This is one of the reasons why we joined EXP, because we understood we needed to make sure we had a system in place. And we were brand new. We've never worked real estate agents before we became EXP.
We were both teachers.
We were both teachers, and yet now we are double icon, right? So the key difference between successful and plateaued agents is going to be the systems that you use. Your system is not just your personal effort and your personal demand that you're going to push things through. No, you need scalable, you need repeatable, you need to go beyond your own capacities. So you need to have growth in mind. You have to growth training. You have to have, it's not just one-off trainings every so often. You have to have long-term trainings. And the 4 reasons why people generally statistically fail, they fall into the one and done trap. So they fall into this like, oh, I learned this one thing one time and that's all it works. And there's no reinforcement, no implementation. They just learned it and then just like left it alone. The second thing is the experience paradox. So they go into everything else and they're not they're reinforcing bad habits instead of enforcing good habits that help us out there. And the next one is lack of structured skill. So we make sure we have to have a roadmap. You can't just not have a roadmap. You need to know what you're going to do. What is the next skill you need to master? And of course, the biggest one of us that we have faced ourselves is time. We have kids, we have a family, we have our each other, and then of course we have our real estate business. So So if you have systems, you can make sure that you have systems for all of these things. So you need to make sure that you are always having time on your side and it is not against you. And mostly agents are going to quit the job, quit the industry because they don't have consistent income, they have too much competition, they don't have a client base, and all of that comes down to systems.
Exactly. Now, the essential systems that every agent, real estate agent needs, it comes to a couple things. The first thing is, of course, the first thing, lead generation and marketing system. That means that you need to have the consistent flow of the clients for your business, and that includes the website, which is we need to be SEO, the social media, your social media presentation, which is your online presentation, and of course your email marketing. And that comes to the number 2, because all of this thing, part of this marketing and lead generation comes from your CRM or what it is, the relationship management. Exactly. And this is the central hub actually for the client management, your pipeline, that you can track all of your leads, and also definitely is going to come with the automation, which with AI is not going to be reach far. The second and the third things that we wanted to talk about is transaction management system. Of course, we have a lot of tools. For example, in EXP, we have a scalable, other things that helps us with the transaction. But having something ready for the checklist, template, transaction coordinators, which you wanted to actually go to your next level of real estate, and also making sure efficiency and reduce your basically a stress, and make sure that you are professional. Experience you have with your client is another thing that we need to mention.
Now I'm going to talk about why a lot of time solo agents fail, and it's basically because you don't have a community, you don't have a mentorship, because that lone wolf mentality might be something that we kind of like as a fixture idea, but like the lone wolf that conquers the market. But the typical solo agent is going to plateau sooner than somebody in a group operation. Now let's just look at the capacities. Capacity, according to statistics, solo agents typically handle between 20 to 30 listings, about 15 buyers, which is typically an 18 to 22% mix, which is a natural income and a natural growth ceiling. Also, a lot of real estate agents who are solo are going to have, it's an emotional roller coaster. Some clients are a lot more emotionally dependent on you, and there's no peer encouragement if you're by yourself. And another reason people fail, especially as solo agents, is accountability. You have nobody to hold you accountable, so you fall to your goals fall away, and you start into the daily grind. The daily grind doesn't follow the goals, and then everything is falling apart. And then, of course, lack of shared knowledge, because if you don't know something, how do you find out about something? So we need a collective experience. So the power of having people on your side is really, really important. Now, I'm just going to give you, again, national statistics. The NAR Aspire program showed that mentorship drives results. So that was a study that they did. So they just looked at these studies, and they saw that mentorship shows guidance, shows support, shows accountability, shows faster growth path. And without mentorship, according to the statistics, you got a slower, harder, mistake-filled progress where people do that all the time. So let's talk to me about us.
Exactly. Therefore, what we did to break through to this newness to the real estate agent, because as we said, we were both teachers, teaching in community college, and now we became a double icon agent and with EXP Realty. Therefore, really we were outsiders to the town. We came for the really where we are for the job, you know, and we end up starting just in the COVID era to do the business, and we didn't have any network, we didn't have any sphere of influence, no family members even, and no brand recognition. And we were just determined to build sustainable business, but not just a job, not like a paycheck by paycheck job.
So one of the first step I can say that we did is education. We listened to a book every single day as we're doing the dishes or whatever. We listen to a book because you always have to be learning. We were teachers ourselves, so we have to learn. So, and it's not just learn, because seminars are great, books are great, podcasts are great. I could show you my podcast playlist. Conferences are great now. That's our new thing. It gives you immediate idea, immediate implementation, and immediate iteration. So if it starts working, it's working great. Another thing thing we can add is teaching. That's why we started the Prosperity Agent, because creating these classes for other agents has been another way to actually grow our own business.
Because you need to deepen your knowledge
exactly
first if you wanted to help somebody else. And the third thing is building a team. Really,
you don't have to build it or you get other agents under you. That's kind of the old-fashioned way.
Another thing was like building the team, starting how to can get a virtual assistant and then expand your business. That was another things that we went through lots of cycles of how to learn ourselves, how you can monitor and be efficient in what we're doing. Therefore, this is every time that you do that, you free up your time because you can focus on the building and leadership. That's what we need to do. We can use those skills to relationship and leadership. And then, of course, business that runs without them. What does that mean?
Ultimately, that's the end goal of all of it, right? We have all these systems. You have a system that works to where you have all these systems and processes that is just working. You wake up and suddenly you have 5 people to show a house to. That's the goal. Or you want to have 5 listing appointments that day. That's amazing goal, and it has to be documented. You have to have systems in place in order to get to that goal. And it's not because you hustled, it's because the system started working in your favor. So you have to build your manuals, you have to build your standard operating procedure, your processes. That's actually been the hardest thing for me to personally do with our own business, is writing down all the processes, because we have to stay consistent. And of course, once you build this and once you grow it, you get to be day-to-day free. So where you have your time, you have your real estate time, and you also have your other time, our family time together. So really, we need to talk about how people break through that plateau.
Really, breaking through this plateau is predictable, not a personal failing. That's why my wife talking about what the habits that you need to take and what the system you need to start building, because that helps you to not being a paid job, but something that is sustainable. That's what we are talking about. And we wanted to address the factors here. The first one was what? The factors that we wanted to talk is the early grind trap, which is the hustle.
You're going to hustle, and that's normal. I was a hustler.
And then, of course, building a scalable system for the lead generation, CRM, transaction management. That's what we were talking about, that you get the consistent flow of the lead. And then lack of the system was the second things that we talk about it, that, as my wife said, is not easy to work on all the processes that grow beyond the personal efforts. But when you build that system, it's going to show you the fruit of the hard work that you did. And then isolation of the solo agent, which is you need to embrace the community, go as a wolf pack, and then that's what we are here.
Talk to us at the Prosperity Agent.
Exactly.
Now, what is thing? You have to always be learning. You have to always invest in your systems and invest in your processes. We have to transition from being just agents to being business owners. We have to be able to document our processes in order to create a scalable long-term business. And we have to focus on growth, and we have to avoid that financial burnout. This is going to give us the reward of a thriving business, financial freedom, long-lasting legacy. We are working on a webinar right now called From Producer to Prosperity, which is great. We're going to walk you through in our webinar the exact path that we use to scale our businesses. And also, we have a ton of classes that the Prosperity Agent is now offering, and I'm so excited for all of those things. So please sign up for a class. Please talk to us. Sign up for an appointment to really talk to us about all the benefits of EXP, because we love talking to you.
And see you next time.